it's clear that from a lot of different analyses that state and local governments are going to need a lot more moving forward. The $150 billion fund that Congress passed is only directed towards expenses related to reacting to this pandemic, not to the revenue losses from the slowed down economy.
That actually leads into a question I had, Brendan. You hit the nail on the head for me. The first package didn't allow states to sort of create a stopgap for lost revenue, from what I understand. And Congress is currently talking about future packages. Are they thinking they'll allow states and local governments to use any additional or new aid or relief to basically shore up lost revenue?
Sure. So yes, they are. That was a deal that was reached a while ago, that whatever future money would be coming down the pipeline would be made available for state and local governments to use to fill whatever financial needs they have because of the economic fallout, not just the public health reaction.
And Bob, I could keep these questions going all day, but I'm wondering if you have any for Ben and Brendan, particularly on the state and local aid side of things, since we haven't gotten to the other two buckets yet.
Yeah, I'll just jump in on the state and local aspect. There really is developed quite a partisan divide over that since the last bill passed. And of course, Mitch McConnell famously suggested that maybe the states could declare bankruptcy, kind of drawing a line in the sand there. But I wanted to ask, one of the issues that comes up is whether or not by providing money to the states, particularly non-targeted money for COVID relief, just for relief from general revenue loss, does that constitute bailing out the states and set a bad precedent? The argument is made that the federal government should not step in and bail out state governments that have made poor fiscal choices in the past. How would you react to that argument?
Well, I would certainly say that it is not a bailout, because any decision that states have made up to this point is not the reason that there is a pandemic going on. This pandemic is its own cost, its own crisis, independent of whatever was pre-existing. And just given the scale of what it looks like state and local governments are going to lose out on or are going to need just to maintain normal operations, it seems really unlikely that money from the federal government is going to somehow reward states for any bad behavior or allow the state. I would be very surprised if you see very many states using that money and using those resources for things besides, reacting to the literal economic costs that they're experiencing now.
So even a well-managed state would be swamped in this environment, I think is.
Like New Hampshire, we manage things very well here.
Absolutely.
And Brendan, did you by any chance recently, maybe, I don't know, calculate how much that loss might be to state and local governments? That
you took the question right out of my mouth, Ben. I was going to go right down to what range of cost are we expecting here? What are you calling for, and how would you deliver it?
Sure. So PPI just released an interactive calculator that people can download on our website and input different estimates of what the economy might look like in the near future. And that will show you, if the economy went that way, roughly how much more money would state and local governments need in order to not have to cut things like healthcare or education or to raise taxes. We estimate, using CBO's estimates for what the economy is going to look like, that state and local governments are going to need at least $500 billion more dollars through the end of 2021 just to maintain their pre-existing operations. And that is with them using up a lot of the reserves that these states have built up. Depending on how comfortable you were asking states to use up all of their resources that they've saved and that they might need for some other issue in the near future. If you were to not ask states to use any of their reserves, you'd be looking at something closer to $680 billion.